Straw Hut Media.
Are you ready for this?
Hello, Manchester prep students. You're about to get schooled. I'm your host, Mark J. Parker, a movie lover and movie maker, and this is Release Date Rewind, a podcast celebrating milestone anniversaries of the movies we love. Thanks for checking this episode out on the Straw Hut Media Network, wherever you get your podcasts, or watching on YouTube. Spring is in the air, and so is seduction, manipulation, and betrayal. Everybody, this episode is a big one, and it's R-rated. So, kids, cover your ears. This is for the secret society only. We are celebrating the 25th anniversary of the scandalous 1999 movie Cruel Intentions. Written and directed by Roger Kumble, it was originally titled Cruel Inventions and was inspired by the 1782 novel Dangerous Liaisons. But nothing about this version felt like those dusty 1700s, am I right?
I hate it when things don't go my way. It makes me so horny.
If you need to watch or rewatch before continuing, this movie is currently available to stream on Prime Video with a subscription in the US. Alright, hornballs, grab your sunglasses, your journals, and your convertibles because it's time to rewind.
There's no swearing, right? And try to
stop. Oh, we can absolutely swear.
The sex.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be a very NC-17. We're going to take clothes off.
As this movie should have been. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just took my pants off. Yeah, it's so hot in here.
Once we start talking about Cruel Intention, I'm now thinking about all the nudity in the movie.
Oh.
And how there's not... Ash had never seen it. My boyfriend had never seen it.
What?
Well, he had grown up, born again, and he was, it was like not allowed in the house. And he was like, I get why...
we're recording. So yeah, this is how the episode starts.
Loved it. He loved it. Was also like, I see why you guys are always talking about it when you were teenagers, because it's like the horniest movie I've ever seen. Absolutely. And it got us. It definitely goes there. It's angsty and it got us. But he pointed out, he's like, you don't actually see any nudity in this except for that one fantastic shot of Ryan Phillippe's ass.
That butt. That ass.
Honestly, a second later, I even wrote down in my thing, I was like, honestly, that ass damn was my note. And then 2 minutes later, Reese Witherspoon gets, and now it's not on full display, but she gets out of there with her bathing suit. And I went, God damn.
Oh, yeah. That bathing suit. Well. That blue bathing suit, much like a year prior with Denise Richards in her see-through blue bathing suit in Wild Things.
Yeah.
Reese, we get to see some Reese crack,
you
know,
see the
tasteful.
Cleftal horizon. And I was like, okay. That's an incredible body.
Yeah, because I think the only breasts that you see in the movie is the Tara Reid fake or that.
Yeah, and you don't even really see nips.
It's like it's going like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You see like most
slut.
I totally forgot that the computer
was the worst.
is saying that. Oh my God, that opening. Okay, well, everybody. Yeah. As you can hear, we have obviously begun. I am here with two great people, sex addicts. I'm kidding.
Can't stop, won't stop, can't stop. Help us.
We're talking about OnlyFans. We're talking about DMs. Everybody, the show has begun. Welcome to Release Date Rewind. I am here with Kit Sheehan, the Catherine of our group, the Sarah Michelle Gellar Jr. Welcome back, Kit.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Welcome to Manchester Prep. School is in session. And someone who hasn't been on the show in a little bit, but I texted him last night, everybody, and I was like, wait a minute. I can't believe I hadn't thought of, I feel like this is right up Jason's alley. And if I'm allowed, Jason, I'm going to say what you texted me back, which is just priceless. Hold on. Wait for it, everybody. Jason goes, do you know how many times I masturbated to that movie? And I was like, great, here's the link. So everybody, welcome back.
It was a youthful awakening. I was like 19.
Yeah. Oh, you were like really prime target. We were a little bit younger.
You were younger. And
but Jason, this was right directed towards you. Oh my God. Jason Kashiwagi is back, everyone. Round of applause for Jason and Kit. The West Coasters, at least of the moment.
Yeah.
Jason's there for a bit before coming back to New York. kits out there. Hi, guys. How does it feel to be back on the show talking about this movie that I can't believe is 25 years old, but it will never age. It's like one of the best. How does it feel knowing that it's 25 years old?
I'm amazed that it's still relevant. It's still talked about. It's in zeitgeist.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What do you think, Kit?
I mean, I'm a little horrified because time is like it horrifies me the way time bends back upon itself. And I look in the mirror, in a certain light, I'm but a girl of 14, and another light, I'm but a hag groaning away through the woods. And this, in the middle of it, in the fulcrum of all this, is Cruel Intentions being 25 years old. But I totally agree. This movie is still so relevant. It's still so talked about. It's so fun and so like delicious, and
delicious.
It was seminal, definitely, for us growing up. Like so many things were background Cruel Intentions. Like when we made Mark, you and I made that movie Ohana Interrupted, which had nothing to do with a family or the concept of Ohana. Nothing. We just really liked Lilo and Stitch that year. So
it was basically like the title was Lilo and Stitch inspired, but the movie was basically a total Halloween.
It's just
rip-off
Halloween
sequel.
with a Jason mask. Yeah.
No, we used a Michael Myers mask. We totally did. Yep. So but then I put our faces on the cover of the movie. Was this cover? Was this shirt that I'm wearing? I think I had SMG's boobs on. But no, I completely agree. It's wild that it's been so long, so fast, but this movie feels so fresh. The dialogue, I mean, oh my God, these actors are so lucky to say these words, right?
Know.
Yes.
And isn't it crazy? I mean, I don't know. I know Roger Kumble, the writer-director. I know I believe is married to a woman. So I don't know if he's straight, bi, whatever, but like he's not gay. And it's pretty amazing, in my opinion, that like, oh my God, a non-gay man wrote this great script with these sassy one line. I mean, there's just so much attitude that I'm like, wow, Roger Kumble. Okay. Like,
I almost want to say he's not gay necessarily, but he is probably rich.
Yes. That'll do it.
No, I just joke. He might not be rich. He might just literally be sassy and hilarious.
Yeah. He's just one of the few straight guys that I guess really has a great sense of humor. And the lines he wrote, we'll get into our favorite moments, favorite lines, but oh my God. Like I was just writing so many notes because I hadn't seen this in a while. When was the last time, Jason, when was the last time you had seen this movie? Do you remember?
In full?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen it since maybe 2000.
Wow. Yeah.
Just like the parts that you masturbated to.
I don't masturbate.
I've seen Cold Mountain
anymore, but it's like
I've seen the final scene where they have sex in Cold Mountain over and over. None of the rest of the movie. That was a college one.
Oh my God, Cold Mountain.
God.
Some of those scenes are hot.
It was
absolutely.
Hot, yeah.
Oh wow. So Jason, you haven't seen it in a long time. Okay. I definitely. I want to say last time I probably saw it in full. Well, I have seen the musical. 2 different productions of it. I love the musical. Did you guys ever get around to seeing it?
No, but I have always been very curious.
It's so up your alley, guys. I saw it in New York. Oh my God, the cast was so hot. And in the Christine Baranski role was Patricia Richardson from Home Improvement, the mom with Tim Allen. Yes,
I love
she was fantastic. She sings No Scrubs because we know Cecil's mom does not want a certain type of guy around. So she sings, she like kind of sings, I don't want no scrubs. It's great. But the musical, it's a jukebox musical. So it's all music from this time.
Yes.
Like, I'm trying to remember. And also they sing songs from the movie. I mean, the soundtrack is truly
just
iconic.
At the very end, Catherine is like, dun, 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 dun.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep, they all come. Seriously, they all come around her and they're singing. They're like, bum, 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 But they even sing like in the beginning, every me and every you, right?
Yes,
and
so
colorblind.
Angsty.
So angsty.
Colorblind was on my Lose Your Virginity mix, which I did not lose my virginity to. But yeah, I made a mix where I was like, if I was gonna in a really loving way, it would be good. It was fine, but it was not that. It was not. We did not play colorblind.
Everything works in this movie.
Yeah.
Everything works.
To think that Roger Kumble, this was his directorial debut. This was his first film he directed. He had written a couple other things, but I mean, this was his first big thing, and he did it so well with this amazing group, right?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Can you imagine what this will do for my reputation?
This is what was going on March 5th, 1999. Okay. On the news and movie side, as we might remember, we were leading up to the Oscars. They were in a couple weeks. Shakespeare in Love, Saving Private Ryan, and Life is Beautiful were all headed for Best Picture. We know how that ended up.
Shakespeare in Love, still undoubtedly the best of all of them. There's no ever way. It didn't age a day, especially when held up to Life is Beautiful and Saving Private Ryan.
Do you want to hear something crazy? I still have never seen any of those movies. I've never watched them. Shakespeare in Love, Saving Private Ryan, or I don't know what it was that year. No. I don't know, 99 into 2000, or no, 98 into 99. I guess I just was not into the Oscars.
Cruel Intentions was snubbed, even though they don't. No, that's right. They would have been up for it next year.
Yeah, they would have been. They would have been the following year, But
I've actually never seen Shakespeare in Love either.
You haven't either? Okay,
but I've seen the hell out of Saving Private Ryan and Life is Beautiful, and you'll love them. I don't know about Shakespeare in Love if you would love it.
I mean, I think I would enjoy it. It seems cool. What do you think, Jason? You've seen them all?
Yes, I saw all of them.
Yeah, and you're a fan of all? What's your favorite out of those three? Yeah. What do you recommend?
No, only Shakespeare in Love.
Oh, okay.
You don't like Saving Private Ryan?
I don't like Saving Private Ryan. I don't like
just because of the experience, or do you not think it's a good movie, or you just don't like the experience of watching?
I'm just like both. I'm just like I just.
Oh yeah.
And I haven't seen
not enough male nudity.
Exactly.
The only male nudity in Life is Beautiful, is like a horrible context. Most of the movie, it's a Holocaust movie. Most of the movie is in a really horrible context, but really beautiful movie.
Yeah. I still haven't seen many of the Oscar movies this weekend. The Oscars are this weekend. I can't believe it.
They're happening.
Wow. Are you guys going to go?
We're going. Oh my God. No, we're not doing it.
No.
If you don't get invited, you don't go.
Yeah. So we know that was going on 25 years ago. On the music side, Cher's song, Do You Believe in Love? Yes, that one, Believe. It reached #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. It was having its massive moment. If anyone out there was like my mom, you were blasting the radio every time that song came on. She didn't know the words. She just mumbled, but every time it was like conversation stopped, the music went all the way up. But that made Cher the oldest female artist at the age of 52 to be #1 at the time on the Billboard Hot 100, which is crazy. I assume that's been beat by now. I don't know. I don't have that info.
I know Cher has had a #1 single on, like, she's the only person I think to have one for like the past like 6 decades. It's something insane.
Right? Yeah. Because it probably was, if not her Christmas album, I bet that really fun ABBA album that she had a few years ago. I feel like that was a big hit for her. Yeah, love it. Amazing.
Oh, definitely. And Believe introduced autotune.
Oh, yes, it did.
It changed music.
So what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
And I just remember that music video, right? Everyone's at the club and she's got like peacock like feathers in her hair, and she's
the lasers are happening.
Right? Yes, the green lasers. Oh,
I know. That was also Waiting for Tonight. That was also J-Lo. There's green lasers were all the rage. 98 to 99.
And Waiting for Tonight is still such a good song. I know J-Lo might have her haters. Sorry, she reels me back in almost every time. Sorry.
Yes,
I haven't watched her new like Amazon Prime movie.
Oh, you have to.
Do I? I think I have to. Right?
Yes.
Okay.
It takes big swings.
Oh.
It takes big, massive swings.
Yes.
So
love it. Love it.
Just like
I love
Cruel
swings.
Intentions.
Yes.
Now, something tells me that the swings that are being taken in Cruel Intentions are for the better and they land well. I don't know if this J-Lo thing lands well, but say no more. No spoilers.
Yeah, you just have to see it.
I have to see it.
Yeah.
But
and I feel like I need to have.
You swing big.
I need to take an edible, right, to see this J-Lo thing, or no?
Oh, of
Should
course.
I be?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I was gonna say I cannot be sober.
I don't
right?
think. Yeah, I don't think we need to come into this with a sound mind. That's a bit much.
But so also on the music side back then, Lauryn Hill had just made history at the 1999 Grammy Awards by being the first female artist to win 5 Grammys in one night. I'm sure that's Taylor or Beyonce or someone has broken that by now, but 25 years ago, big deal. Of course, she had that thing and, the miseducation of Lauryn Hill. That was huge, right?
Yeah.
Another album that had just been released in late February, an album I love. If you follow Release Date Rewind on Instagram, you saw I posted about it. Fan Mail by TLC, which had No Scrubs. We were just talking about No Scrubs. Love that album. That was so cool. Oh my God. Unpretty. Like TLC was like really having a big moment.
Unpretty.
Right? Oh, and such good
so
music videos. And yeah, they were great.
The music videos. Yes.
Right? That No Scrubs video and Left Eye's rap. Yeah. Now on the movie side, this movie came out the same day as Analyze This, Robert De Niro, Billy Crystal. I remember that was a big deal. That actually came in at number 1. Cruel Intentions came in at number 2. But other popular movies at this time, to jog your memory, 8mm. I think it was a murder mystery, like moody with Nicolas Cage, I remember, right? Yep, 8mm, and I think Joaquin. The Other Sister. The Other Sister with Juliette Lewis.
I saw that at the movie theater.
I did too.
I did too.
I cringe when I look back on how much I loved that movie and was like, oh my God, everyone's the same. Which we are, but that movie wasn't, the message had not been adequately,
I know. I loved it too, but I think I also knew as a kid in the movie theater, I'm like, something is not right with these decisions, right?
Yeah.
With Juliette and Giovanni Ribisi and Diane Keaton.
Seem obvious in 10 years, I think, what's wrong with it, but I can't quite put my finger on it now.
I mean, Juliette did do a very good job. Olive Juice. But
Olive Juice. Giovanni Ribisi was wonderful as always.
Yes.
Diane Keaton though was such a pain in the ass in that movie.
It's true.
I mean, she often is.
You're shrinking this entire film.
Oh.
It was kind of the beginning of that series of shrieking films.
Of Shrieking Mom. Yeah. Other popular movies besides them. Well, actually I should take that back. Not so popular, but movies I just want to shout out. 200 Cigarettes. Anyone else a fan of that one? Right?
Yes.
That's a fun one with such an all-star cast. Many of them before they were huge stars, but everyone was in that one. I do have a soft spot for that. That was out, not so popular, as was Jawbreaker, a movie I just talked about last time. Did not do very well at all, but oh my God. I mean, if there's another movie, if you haven't rewatched that in a while, holy shit, it holds up so well. Much like Cruel Intentions, the two of them are such an awesome, sassy, sexy double feature. It's crazy what was going on in 1999 at this time. As I've said,
to get a musical made about that's what
they've been trying to do a musical, I think, for Jawbreaker.
Yes, and listeners, if you haven't found out, Darren Stein, the filmmaker, was just on my show last episode, and the movie musical is in the works with some pop stars attached or sort of almost attached, he told me. So I don't want to say anymore. He said,
Ariana Grande. Oh my God, it is.
I mean, she could. Hey,
she's gonna announce it tonight in West Hollywood.
Oh my God, exactly.
She's awesome. Gonna pull Jason on stage and be like, "I'm in the Jawbreaker movie musical." I've said this on the show multiple times lately, but obviously we know 1999 was a huge year. I'm going to show you right now. Anybody who's watching on YouTube, you'll see I have this great book that I highly recommend. Best movie year ever. How 1999 blew up the big screen, written by Brian Raftery. Cruel Intentions is in there. I'll give you some trivia from what he wrote. But 99, huge year. I'm going to talk about more movies from that year coming up this year. Just between January and March, we had such memorable teen movies. Varsity Blues, She's All That, Jawbreaker, Cruel Intentions, 10 Things I Hate About You was a few weeks away. I mean, Never Been Kissed. That was just in the first few months. American Pie, Drop Dead Gorgeous, crazy. Teens were everywhere. It's crazy.
Gorgeous. It's
right?
One of the best movies ever made.
Amazing movies. Yeah, and that's still only naming some. We'll be right back.
I'm sick of sleeping with these insipid Manhattan debutantes. Nothing shocks them anymore.
But you can relax. I have a mission for you.
I was a freshman in college at the time.
Wow.
And we got assigned internships. So I got to intern at Miramax.
Wow. Yes. Oh my God, I forgot about
God,
this.
in 99?
So-
That's like prime Miramax time.
Yes.
It's awesome.
Yes. I had to do a lot of like typing the dialogue out of for that movie Bounce with Ben Affleck
And Gwyneth.
and Gwyneth
I remember it
Paltrow.
all the time how she had to, and she tries to quit being on the nicotine gum by smoking cigarettes. And he's like, what are you going to do to quit cigarettes? Heroin? And I was like, oh, Ben. Another one I saw in theaters. Loved it.
Yeah, I had to write down the swearing or anything salacious in Shakespeare in Love.
Oh, did you really? Wow.
But this is the thing. So for some reason, I found this was like, I think in January of 1999, I found a copy of Cruel Intentions.
Oh, so Miramax had it.
Yeah, for some reason they had it.
Wow.
And I
Makes
watched
sense.
it.
I'm sure there was like a, well, actually, no, okay. I was thinking the script, but no, you saw the movie. So wait a minute. Hold the phone.
It was a video copy of it. Yeah.
Wow. You saw the movie before many people did. Oh my God. What was that experience
We did
like?
a screening of it in our dormitory with the gays.
Yes. Yes.
Love it. As you should.
Yes.
And there was a lot of scenes that were not in the movie.
Okay. I do have the DVD. I remember Lindsay Ferg. Kit, do you remember Lindsay Ferg back in the day? She got the DVD for me for my birthday, I guess the year later, because she knew I loved this movie. And I remember, Jason, watching the deleted scenes, obsessing over them. And I remember one in particular where the guys are in the bed and Sebastian kind of like leads them on to think that he's going to join them. Do you remember that scene? Was that? Yes. But it was all... Video. It was all a mind game to trick the Gregster, Greg,
the
into
Catherine
thinking.
blowjob scene got cut. That was in the videotape.
Interesting, because we do see the
little bit of her.
The little bit of her head coming up. Yeah. Yeah.
But is there more?
I think there was a little bit more to it.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe some head bopping or something.
Yeah.
Wow.
But that was like an interesting time because my friend was also interning at Sony, so she took me to the screening of Jawbreaker.
Oh, how
before
fun! Yeah,
that movie came out.
Wow.
And they always wanted us to go to the movies for free, so we saw both 10 Things I Hate About You and The Matrix.
Oh yeah, they came out the same day. Okay.
Yes. So we got to see them all before they came out.
I love that.
So cool.
Oh my God. We have Hollywood royalty here, everyone.
I know. We had to like sneak them. We weren't allowed to see them yet. We had to wait until they were on DVD or
we weren't even we were too young to even see many of these movies in the theaters. Like we didn't see Cruel Intentions in the theater.
Not in the theater.
Yeah.
It was a secretive thing.
Yeah.
We weren't supposed to
Secret society.
So okay, are you on the record right now saying, Jason Kashiwagi, so you found this VHS tape of Cruel Intentions and you took it out of the Miramax office, or did someone else take it? Did you take it?
No, I took it.
I am so I might have an orgasm. This is amazing.
I'm gonna have to journal about this in my Sebastian journal. I'm gonna have to draw your naked butt.
I am sad that I threw it out though. When I moved out.
Oh, you threw it out. Oh, so you held on to it. You didn't even bring it back to work. Wow.
I mean, allegedly, I made a copy of it. And then returned the original to work.
Oh, genius. So smart.
Allegedly.
Wow. Allegedly. That's how the story goes.
Yes. It wouldn't hold up in court. That's hearsay.
Now, so okay, Miramax 99, like Kit said, like this is like premiere Miramax time. Like they're like really busy. So can you tell us anything about the Weinsteins?
I know, I was about to say, did
he was never there.
Hurt you? Because
he was never there,
and he was just lashing out, hurting everybody.
Right. Yeah. Okay. What about Bob Weinstein? Was he there or not even? No. Okay.
I went to put my foot on like this and lean down and I slipped.
Yeah.
Kid's leaning in.
It was interesting with Miramax because it's like, even before when Scream 3 came out, I asked someone to get me a copy of that tape.
And did you get it?
I
did. But it was before it hit Blockbuster. It was already out in the movie theaters.
Oh, okay. Okay. But you got
like they were kind of playing fast and loose with the VHS.
Yes. Allegedly, the VHS copies were very easy.
Yeah.
Wow. I love that. Oh my gosh. This is so amazing.
They've all been destroyed. No,
Yeah.
They were all destroyed.
Now, I'm curious. and then we can move on. But so like this Cruel Intentions copy, like was it from what you remember, and even like the Scream 3 copy, but especially that was already in theaters. So Cruel Intentions, this was like before it was out in theaters. You were able to see it in the door, right?
Right. Yes.
Was it like a clear copy, or like was there like, you know how editors have like, you know, the time code and everything? Like was it that kind of thing, or was it like
it was very clear? It
Okay.
had a temp soundtrack and it had the time code.
Okay. Got it. So it was like it was like
final
the
edit.
almost final cut,
Yeah.
like okay, temp soundtrack. So interesting. So do you remember, like, did you hear any of these great songs, or they weren't in there yet?
I honestly don't remember.
Yeah. It was so long ago.
I think in the ending song was in it.
Well, do you guys know about? I love this. Is like some of the trivia that I just fucking love. Did you guys know Bittersweet Symphony was originally considered to be the ending song of Scream 2? But for whatever reason, they ended up not doing it, which that would have been interesting. I still feel like it fits this movie so perfectly. It could have fit that, but like this is like dynamite, right? So I don't know if maybe it was like the studios were kind of trying to get the rights, and maybe who did this one? This was Columbia, I believe. So maybe Columbia already had the rights to it, and Miramax couldn't get it. I don't know, but I just love knowing that like Wes Craven and team were like really thinking about that song, you know. But
it's so interesting.
SMG got it.
Yeah,
I know it fits.
It fits so well.
I never pray, but tonight I'm on my knees. Like that is Sebastian Catherine, like 100%.
And even the way when she is, oh my God, I know we're jumping around, but when she is walking down that aisle of the church and the camera's moving with her, and then and on that like beat, the doors open and she's looking. Oh my God, to be one of those extras, I would have said, don't pay me. Just let me stand there. I'll hold the journal. Let me glare at SMG. Oh my God, it's just brilliant. And I do have to say, I don't think we needed it, but I love how this new headmaster then comes up behind Catherine, and immediately somehow he just knows. Maybe he got a copy of the journal before everyone else. He just undoes her cross necklace, lets the coke fall out, and goes in a very slow-mo shaking of the head.
They all did. Like they all like even it was one of the girls. I think it might have been Cecil. I think it might have been, like when she hands it to her and then she goes back and stands in the thing and she's like,
yes. I know. Yes. Yeah. There's a guy that does it too. One extra in a beautiful close up. It's just like, it's so good.
What is this? What?
The ending was so great, but I was so upset. I'm like justice for Catherine.
Yes.
She did not deserve
not
that
at all.
slut shaming.
Interesting.
100%.
Drug shaming.
She was pilloried because she was the girl. So they were like, let's find a face to put all of society's ills on and say that.
Okay, that is so interesting. Yeah. So you two think that. Okay, I love Catherine, but I am the opposite. I think you are fucking crazy, and you obviously, we can tell, are so heartless that your stepbrother, who you've been trying to shag for years, is dead, and she's just like, what did she say to Reese? And I quoted it when I was rewatching it. Reese, Annette leaves the bathroom and she goes, oh my God, looking forward to it.
Yeah.
She is still she is not even a little bit messed up over the death of her stepbrother. So that's why
she's compartmentalizing.
Yes, I think she was like, okay, bitch.
She's getting ready to put on a show. Yeah.
Yeah. She's like, I gotta do what I gotta fucking do. She says it, and she needs help. Why isn't she in therapy? He gets to be in therapy and fuck everybody, but she's like, she's bulimic. She wants to kill herself. She has suicidal ideation. She has an extreme drug problem. She's I would argue she's using sex to fill a void, because this one thing to have fun having sex, but it's another, both she and Sebastian are using it to fill a void, and Pacey is using it to fill a void, and other people are in love and whatever. But yeah, she deserves to be punished the way that Sebastian deseres to be punished. They both deserve to go down, and he's heralded as a hero because he was in love.
Because he died.
Yeah, because he was in love and he died, but she didn't get the chance to be in love, because her whole thing was and you assholes all leave after you get what you want, and you move on to the next thing, younger and more innocent, blah blah. Ryan was allowed to fall in love. Sebastian could fall in love because he was with one who loved him. She was in love with that guy, maybe, and he left her.
I wonder. So, okay, I hear what you're saying. Is Sebastian's punishment his death, or he really deserved a worse punishment for everything he did? What do you think? Like,
worse.
He deserves the worst.
Okay, so
That's
he deserves
the easy
worse.
way out, you coward.
Yeah.
Okay, so now he deserves.
Sin.
Does he deserve worse than what Catherine gets, or?
Yes.
Oh, really? I think the siblings. The liaisons dangereuses, the two of them should be punished for what they've done for the liaison.
Right. Okay. And then go off to like Bravo's what was it? New York City Prep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that show. NYC Prep. You're so right.
NYC
oh my
Prep.
God.
Yes.
Now Annette with this amazing. I mean, the music, the wind blowing in her hair. That convertible. I mean, I don't think Jason was ever in my convertible. No, but Kit, you were in that car. I mean, we were driving all around town, and
When did you have a convertible?
In high school.
An old.
Beautiful old. What? It was a Sebring, I want to say.
It was a Toyota Celica from 1993. So I got it like 11 or 12 years old. 11 years old, I think. Yeah. But
nice.
we were. Oh yeah, and my mom was furious because it didn't have the safety bar.
It didn't have a roll bar.
My dad surprised all of us with it. Did not talk to my mom.
Christmas,
don't recommend
right?
doing that. Christmas of 2003. Yeah.
And you couldn't drive.
Very awkward. No, I couldn't. So it just sat there, and I'm like, can't wait to drive it. But he was like, I got it because it was only like a few $1,000s, so I had to like snatch it. So it just like sat in like our like driveway, like to the side for like months. Anyway, but so Annette is driving off. She just had this great moment in the bathroom with Catherine. Great. Finally the first time they really even talk. Right? No scenes together really.
Yep.
And Annette knows who that is. Catherine's pretending. Annette sees right through her, right? Mm-hmm. Annette drives off. She's like, I'm not going to stay for this. I know what's going to happen. I made the copies. She drives off. Now, to go back to your point of how is Sebastian maybe let off easy? Should Annette maybe have like thrown the journal away or just given it to Cecile? Because the way she kind of like, she drives off with the journal next to her, which is like touching. It's nice. She misses him. So maybe is that like the problem? Maybe should she have just driven off in his car and she doesn't have the journal anymore? And now she kind of got something out of it. And like, is that any better? Like, does that kind of knock Sebastian down a little bit? Or still, do you feel like that's not even that good? Do you know what I mean? To like try to even the playing field, right?
I feel like I want I want the journal. And it should have served like this, I'm realizing. The journal should, why did the kids not, well, it wasn't played that way, I guess, or it wasn't, meant to be that way. But, everyone was implicated in the journal except for the people who were, Catherine's ex-boyfriend is implicated by being a piece of shit. And the system must be implicated. I want people to know Christine Baranski's character said that she didn't want her daughter to date a black boy. I'm everyone needs, but the fact that it was Catherine, the headmaster's all, and I'm like, you are the kind of person who encourages your daughter to write to 17 magazine and be like, I'm a virgin. Do you want to make a whole deal about it? You're not even effing cool. You're all part of the problem. She's cool. She's a kid. But you adults in society are part of the problem.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I never even thought about that. How she's in well, first of all, she's in 17 magazine. I love how Jennifer Love Hewitt has a cameo in this movie. Yes. She's on the cover, right? And then turn to page 67 and there's Annette and it's oh.
Why I Plan to Wait by Annette Hargrove.
Paradigm of chastity and virtue.
Introduce her to your world of sex, drugs, and what else do you do?
I buy it that was definitely the topic of some articles at the time, but
sure.
How dare these magazines, these girls, talking about their virginity. But I guess she was cool with it. I don't know. Yeah. But I just wanted to throw that out there about the journal. Maybe does that kind of wrap up things a little too nicely? I still think the ending's perfect, but just to go with your point of is retribution served equally? And it sounds like no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And, such is life.
Such is life. And we would have, sadly,
Joan of Arc was burned alive. Of course they would do this to Catherine, who's morally far more questionable than Joan of Arc.
Catherine, Marcia fucking Brady. Now, we would have maybe learned about the aftermath if we got that TV show with Sarah Michelle Gellar back. Did you guys ever see the pilot?
No.
No?
I don't.
It's somewhere online.
I did, but I feel like no. Because I
read it
from it.
I read the script. I was probably in my emails. I feel like, Jason, maybe you sent it to me. I feel like someone sent me the script for the pilot. Allegedly. Somebody. It's allegedly in my inbox somewhere. But and it was a fun script, if I remember correctly. Yeah, Catherine was back. So was Annette, but it was not Reese Witherspoon, and she was only a side character in the first episode because it's Annette's son. It's her son with Sebastian. It's Sebastian's son. So I guess they did it, and she got pregnant, and then he died, and she was a young mom.
Make a virginity pledge, as you don't know anything about condoms.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Imagine if Sebastian could see us now.
He'd be laughing his ass off.
I guess it's really time to let go of the past.
No, it's not about letting go. I've learned to forgive. But don't think that I will ever forget.
And so it followed him, this young new Ryan Phillippe, meeting his aunt Catherine, and it was interesting, but it was for NBC. And Sarah Michelle Gellar you probably heard this was a few years ago, she was quoted saying that even though she was so excited to be back in that role and to do it, she's ultimately super grateful it didn't go through because that show is not meant for broadcast. It was not meant for NBC. And she apparently said on day one, they immediately were just like, wait, what are we doing? So it was not a great shoot, I guess. And she said it's meant for streaming.
Is the modern, like it's not the modern exact like one-to-one of Cruel Intentions, but it's more of it's the dark side, and dare I say the sexy side of that age when you're growing up and you're like kind of an adult, but you're kind of not.
Or Saltburn.
Saltburn is very Cruel Intentions. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Totally.
Yes.
I saw some similarities for sure. Yeah, which is why. One of the reasons why I loved it so much. But yeah, you're right. Yeah, Euphoria has this. And it's interesting because now they're filming it right now, a new Cruel Intentions TV show that I guess will not be a sequel. It's a new update, but Sean Patrick Thomas is in it, but as a different character. Did you guys hear that? Yeah.
That's weird.
So he's back. Yeah, he's back, but it takes place in DC, I believe, and it's for Amazon Prime. So it'll be sexy, I guess.
Totally different Cruel Intentions. Like these kids are, I don't know, they're cheating on tests or something. These kids.
I guess maybe it'll be like a political angle or something, which makes sense.
Probably.
I guess maybe they're high school or college, in politics, I guess. Like House of Cards Jr. or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be
as
interesting.
Beautiful as like House of Cards.
Oh yeah. That show is
and Cruel Intentions is beautifully shot.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes.
It absolutely is, with this stunning cast.
She's young, supple.
She'll be my greatest victory.
You don't stand a chance.
Care to make a wager on that?
Let's start with Jason, and then Jason, throw it over to Kit. In your own words, we've already talked a lot about this, but doesn't need to be long. Tell us, what is the logline? What is the brief summary of Cruel Intentions for anyone out there who hasn't rewatched and wants a refresher? Jason, start off the story.
The person that hasn't seen it since the movie theater.
There you go. Ooh, let's see. Let's see if he remembers.
Yeah, what does it mean? 25 years
All right,
out.
so it's...
Think of those masturbation memories. You got it.
Yeah.
Cruel Intentions is a teen version of... the Valmont story, the what is it? The French? What was the French?
Yeah,
Les
you took French.
Liaisons Dangereuses.
Yes. Le Dangerous Liaisons.
Dangerous Liaisons, basically.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. French Dangerous Liaisons. Yeah.
Set in a New York private prep school with Ryan Phillippe and Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Carrie Bradshaw. This was a prequel.
Alma Hayek, Sarah Jessica Parker,
and Sean William
Ryan
Scott.
Murphy,
Amazing.
And Sean William Scott. It was
I would
amazing.
still watch it. That's a hot cast.
Partying
Reese
at
Witherspoon still
during-
Reese.
Yeah.
Yes.
While Catherine
smoking the whole time.
Carrie Bradshaw was smoking and partying at Tunnel while Catherine and Sebastian and Annette were all backstabbing each other.
You're so right. Yes.
What was the name of the high school?
Manchester Prep, which I remembered that they mentioned it once or twice in the movie, but I remember there was a TV show that was going to happen, and it ended up getting canceled. But they shot a few episodes, and the episodes ended up being Cruel Intentions 2. If you remember, there were some straight-to-DVD sequels. So that was a prequel. Yes.
Yeah.
But
that was Amy Adams' like second job, I believe.
Yep.
I love her.
Yeah. So it's like
I love her early work too.
This synopsis was all over the place, but backstabbing, rich, majority white teens.
Yes.
Kit, do you want to take it from there?
Yes.
I mean, that's
anything you want to add?
That's a beautiful like log line. That is like what it is. It's like it's melodramatic. It's in a way that was also reminding me very much of May December. And I was like, this is hilarious and salacious. And like the music cues are Lifetime movies. And we're meant to laugh at the absurdity and also be a little struck because we're like, oh God, it does feel that melodramatic when you're a child. Like, and this is, and they are actually doing things like dying and stuff. But it's very much, it is very much the lifestyles of the majority white, wealthy New York elite. But it does show how that society is even not healthy for these kids. And these people are growing up warped. And you're like, oh, no wonder like all the CEOs turn out horrible because you do these kids even have a chance? Like, yeah, they have all the chances in the world because they're so wealthy, but like they want to kill themselves, like, or each other. And then they do like, so. And it's very
That's
sexy.
true.
And
it's so
like,
sexy.
Very funny too. It's so
funny. That's what I'm talking about, right? The dialogue.
French vibe. It has the same thing as the witty, like dangerous liaison. Like they're just so rich and bored and smart and have everything. And so they're just so funny. Like,
they
absolutely.
have the quips. They have
my gosh.
Right.
Yes.
And like the way, I mean,
the reads.
I hadn't rewatched this in a while. It's been more recent since Jason, but I haven't seen this in full in quite a few years. So, I mean, I can quote half the movie, but I had forgotten, like just how good Sarah Michelle Gellar's eye rolls are, or Ryan Phillippe's like fake smiles, with like the old people, and it's just everyone is so perfectly cast. Christine Baranski, I mean, it's just everyone. Swoosie Kurtz as the therapist in the beginning. I mean, like Tara Reid. I forgot until recently. I'm like, oh my God, she is in the opening. There are nudie pictures on the internet. Like, amazing, right?
Nice legs.
If I win, then that hot little car of yours, mine.
And if I win,
I'll give you something you've been obsessing about ever since our parents got married.
Cruel Intentions came out before, like, the Paris Hilton, right, shows. So before the teen socialites, the young socialites.
Yeah, because I can't remember when, like, Paris's sex tape came out, but I just know 5 years later, because I'll probably talk about on the show, like, Mean Girls is going to be celebrating 20 years in April. So, like, by that time, we already had The Simple Life. So Paris must have really come into, like, uber fame somewhere in between, like maybe just a couple years after this.
Life started in 2003.
Okay.
The first episode of it. So she had to have just risen to fame in like 2001 and 2.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
This might have been part of, I mean, they were upset. We were obsessed with teens at the time, for sure. And we had been obsessed with children in the 90s because it was the first time we were like, oh, we can market to kids and like they will tell their parents with disposable income. And then we were becoming teens. So they were like, now market to them. So we had like that big boom of all these things. But yeah, Cruel Intentions, definitely. It's more a kid. It gives us more into like Gossip Girl and more. The Simple Life and.
It's funny because Gossip Girl started it was like 8 years after this, but by then I feel like Cruel Intentions was such a distant memory for some reason by the time Gossip Girl was premiering. But Gossip Girl is totally like the sequel to this movie. Do you know what I mean? Like. Even seeing, there's even a shot that I wrote down in my notes, like Ryan Phillippe sitting on the Met steps. I'm like, oh my God, Gossip Girl, so it's funny to see the DNA trickle into other things, But going back to Valmont, have you guys seen, I actually have not seen any other version of this story. And I know there are multiple versions, but the most famous ones besides this were a few years prior. And how funny, they were only a year apart in 88 and 89. There's Dangerous Liaisons, which got a bunch of Oscar noms. That's with
With
John
Glenn Close.
Malkovich, Glenn Close,
Yeah.
Michelle Pfeiffer, right?
Uma
and
Thurman.
then Uma Thurman, and I think
Cecil.
Keanu Reeves plays
Yes.
Sean Patrick
Yes.
Thomas, I believe, which is so
Yes.
funny. Oh my god! So there's that version, which was big, and then only a year later was Valmont. Same thing. That was with Colin Firth, Annette Bening. I think Meg Tilly plays Reese's role. Fairuza Balk is in it. Oh my god, she's so young. So have you guys seen either of those? Have you seen those older versions?
Yes.
You did, Jason?
I've seen both.
Okay.
I have not seen either, but I've seen parts of the John Malkovich one.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
And I saw it on Broadway as well.
Oh, okay. Was it a musical? Or a play?
No. I saw it with Laura Linney.
Oh, that's right. Laura
Yeah.
Linney. Okay.
They adapted it into a play that's actually pretty decent.
Cool.
Oh, I've seen Alan Rickman do scenes from the play.
Oh.
And that was incredible.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Wow. Really good casting in each one. But I mean, I got to give my preference to this cast. I just love them all so much.
I know.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So
So
it's
good.
like the Muppet Babies version of it, which is like amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
yes.
effing
This
loved
is-
Muppet Babies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, this is, a solid film that does belong in the oeuvre of Valmont and
The oov.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Exactly. Yes. Uh-huh. It fits right in. And I know it got like mixed reviews at the time, but I did write down, even Roger Ebert said it was great. I think he gave it like a pretty good review, and he said it's smart and merciless in the tradition of the original story, and he loved it. So I mean,
Hell yeah.
I think it's hard because, like we're saying, teen content, teen entertainment was so huge, but I think because it was so huge, there was definitely a good mix of critics that didn't take it seriously.
Yeah.
But
it got lost in the
in hindsight, do you think this movie should have been up for more serious awards, or do you feel
No.
like no, you don't think so, Jason? What do you think, Kit? Like, should Sarah Michelle Gellar have been nominated for a Golden Globe? No? Okay.
Okay, it's hard to tell. The acting is great, and like it is great. There were just like you were saying, and like Jason's been saying, there were so many good movies in '99 that I don't know how you're gonna
I know.
it's like a banger after banger. Like I don't know how you would fit
Literally.
it in. Yeah, literally. But I definitely have to go on record saying it holds up as a really fun and great movie, but also just a really well acted, well shot piece. Ryan Phillippe, I mean, they're all really great, but there were a couple moments where Ryan Phillippe like very much moved me, and I was like,
Oh yeah,
he was
those
really
tears when
going
he's
for
breaking
it.
up with Annette, sort of against his will.
Yeah.
You guys might have seen this too. He apparently threw up after shooting that scene because they were dating in real life at the time. I thought they had met during this movie, but they actually were already together for like a year or two.
Yeah, but that makes sense too.
And if anything, I was reading in that book I was mentioning, Ryan and the director, Roger Kumble, but once Ryan and Sarah Michelle Gellar were cast, Ryan was part of like the team begging Reese to do the movie. So they totally went. I thought they just met on this movie, and Reese was cast like anyone else, but no, they were begging her to do it, and she would only do it if they beefed up her role and made her a stronger character. She apparently did not want to be just the girlfriend, and it worked, right? It totally works. Because she's
I was going to say, I loved that too about this movie, is that it feels like very feminist. It feels very egalitarian. It's like every person, it does not matter their gender or their orientation or even their race. It is like, even that they only have one black guy in it, one person of color. But even they show everyone, and not everyone's morally ambiguous, but it doesn't matter. No one is assigned morality based upon their anything based upon any of the markers that you normally would in more hack production or in something that wasn't trying to say what it's trying to say, which is very much everyone was able, you can be evil no matter who you are, you can be good no matter who you are, and it's not because all women are evil or no women are evil. Like
absolutely. And I think that's also why I'm surprised that a seemingly straight guy wrote this, because it's like, wow, you really gave some amazing dialogue. I mean, the big monologue that Catherine says, where she says, I'm the Marsha fucking Brady of the, like, she says, something along the lines of like, basically what, I should feel ashamed that I enjoy sex. And it's like, wow, no other young women were able to really say that in big movies at this time.
Yes.
So yeah, pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Cruel Intentions was interesting because it was the first R-rated sexual movie, teen movie.
Yeah.
Come out. It was the first, I believe.
And that wasn't like, a like an American Pie, like that,
right?
Like a romp. Like this was like serious and twisted but still very fun, like we were saying. Yeah, Jason.
Yeah.
Do you think you could arrange a little get-together?
Don't think this isn't gonna cost you.
God, you're beautiful.
Boldly go where no man has gone before.
People shouldn't experience the act of love until they are in love.
I am so shocked. This was Ash's first viewing of this movie.
Yeah.
Oh, Kit. Thank God. Thank God for you. Thank God.
I know.
I'm just glad.
But he wouldn't have celebrated Halloween the way he loves Halloween now. But when he was a kid, he wasn't allowed. Literally wasn't allowed. So
I literally cannot imagine that.
I know.
I mean, Cruel Intentions and Halloween are my two favorite things.
Yes.
So, like,
I was like, I don't understand how.
And they've been my two favorite things like since 1999. So I mean,
and then you had to make movies about them. Like you had to make movies like we did, which were always spoofs of Cruel Intent. Somehow a spoof of a really sexy teen comedy and also a horror film.
A horror movie.
Every single one was that.
Well, yeah. I mean, there were many of them to inspire us, right? The music is amazing. Not only the soundtrack, but I do just want to give a shout out to the composer. I love the score as well. It might be a little, again, melodramatic, a little like kind of silly, but I think the music is so good. And because the score to me kind of sounds like one of the songs like on the soundtrack that they just like selected. Do you know what I mean? It blends in. So I just want to give a shout out to, of course I lost it, Edward Shearmer. Good job, Edward. Because sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, that was good. Then I'm like, I don't even know who it was.
Would you mind turning around so that I could put on my bathing suit?
I'm sorry.
I know we opened with the butt, but I mean, I feel like we need to talk a little bit more about that ass.
Yeah.
Like,
do
we know? Do we think that is Ryan Phillippe? Because it's a long shot, it's wide. Like, is that a body double? What do you think? Do you think that was him?
You
think that was him, Jason?
Him.
I hope so. I mean, he was an absolute babe. And Kit and I have talked about him and SMG, and I Know What You Did Last Summer. I mean, he was just in the right before this 54, Guilty Pleasure.
Yes.
So I mean, major babe. But I did notice. Did you? So Kit, were you able to rewatch this recently?
Yeah, I watched it last night again.
Okay, yeah, because I know Jason, you haven't had a chance. But Kit, on your TV, I don't know, because we just got a new TV, and I'm like, is this really like accentuating things? Throughout the movie, did it look like Ryan Phillippe had like a bump on his head, or is that just me? Did you catch that?
I didn't notice that.
Okay. It might just be like the really good like HD 4K.
Yeah, that it's like literally
but like he had like a straight up like bump on the head throughout the whole movie that I'm like, what happened? And I never noticed it before. Anyway,
maybe your TV just shows the bumps and scars. Like I didn't even notice Trader Sandra. I didn't notice that scar.
Oh yeah, Kit, have you watched The Traitors at all? I don't think you have.
Apparently, I have not. And apparently, Ryan Phillippe does have a big old bump on his head.
Oh, wait. Did you Google Ryan Phillippe bump?
I did. Ryan Phillippe, bump on head.
Oh.
No way.
Wow.
Yes.
I never noticed it. And I have stared at that man so many times, as I assume you both have. And Jason, I guess, really did
constantly.
Because of his history with this movie.
I see it. Yeah,
I was like a teen.
Oh, okay. I still love him. I still think he's a total babe. Then, now, yes, baby, yes. But yeah, I just feel like that butt scene was just so amazing. And we are just like Annette. We are just like Reese, jaw dropped. And when he turns around, how ballsy literally would it have been if they just kept that wide shot and he turns around and he does just a glimpse, just like 2 seconds of full frontal. Come on. Right? Teensy. Like even if it was just if it cuts on the turn, like he's starting to be profile to see like some
profile.
Right? Some pubes, some like, some whatever, movement. Right?
The suggestion of a
yes,
that's my other favorite thing. It's like when they're like the opening credits, they show everything, and then it's like suggested by the book.
Oh, I know.
It's not based on now. Like the amount of things I do in my life that are like suggested by something. Like I'm like, just like binge eating cookies. I'm like suggested by my therapist for self-care. Like there's a lot of things suggested.
I caught that too, Kit. Yeah, I was surprised. I never caught that before. Not based on, but suggested by. I'm like, no, you're using the same names from the book.
Yeah.
Valmont. How do you say Catherine's last name? Myrtil? Is that how you say it?
Or like Montieu. I
Myrtil?
haven't.
Something like that. Anyway,
I can look it up again.
But I'm like, you're like, yeah, this is definitely based on that book.
Do you mind if I take my new car for a ride?
I can't win with you.
It's not about winning, Sebastian.
Will you stop?
It's okay, you can laugh.
Because American Beauty came out after this, right? We were starting to really explore. There were movies that were exploring teen sexuality in a way that wasn't just like, a fun Porky's-esque thing.
Yep.
It was actually about the issues that would face and how it's not just about sex. It's really more about like being an adult and realizing that things in the world aren't true, that you were told were true, and everything that comes with that.
Happy hunting, Sebastian.
Ciao.
Yeah, this was season 3 of Buffy. So this was like her days with Faith. That was airing on TV as she's being a bad girl on the big screen. And Selma Blair was new to the WB. She was in Zoe Duncan, Jack and Jane. Remember that? Short-lived. Yep, that was season 1. So we had, and of course, Joshua Jackson. So half the cast is WB.
It's WB.
I love Josh so much in this role. This is one of my favorite roles. What's his name? Blaine. So fun. Blonde hair, the sweater. And I shit you not, this is the first time I realized what he's doing when we meet him. And he's like weighing like weed, and he has like pill bottles, and he's totally like a drug dealer. I never realized that. I never did. It never dawned on me. I love it.
Yes. I did. I absolutely loved him in it. And I thought, like, it's not brave really by any stretch of the imagination, especially not today. But I will say it is relatively bold for a straight actor in the 90s to a young actor a man to say, like, I don't give a shit. Like, to not be afraid of being pigeonholed in any, not that it fucking matters, and you absolutely should. It takes 1 million people to break the dam to make it but I think it could have been easy for a team to try and talk the young, sexy guy from Dawson's Creek out of doing it. And I love it. He was like, no, fuck that. Yeah. This is an awesome character. I'm playing it.
He did all sorts of roles during that time.
Yeah.
He did like the Laramie Project. He did.
That's true on
Urban
HBO.
Legend.
Urban Legend.
Urban Legend.
He was fine playing the one scene in Scream 2.
Oh,
yeah,
love that scene with SMG. You're right. SMG. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, they're in that together. They don't have any scenes in this movie, but there's a little reunion in this movie from there. And also, Selma Blair and Sean Patrick Thomas had small roles in Can't Hardly Wait the year prior. I don't know if they ever had any scenes in that, but little reunion there as well. And then, of course, we know SMG and Ryan were amazing in I Know What You Did Last Summer. Now they're back in this. I remember, that's why I was so shocked that Sarah was like with Freddie, because I was like, wait, no, you were with Ryan as his girlfriend in I Know, and then like you're basically boyfriend girlfriend in Cruel Intentions. Like you need to be together. My young brain was like, I don't get it. No,
this doesn't make sense. Yes, I felt that way too. I was like, you're both blonde. But so is Reese. They're all blonde.
Right? You look like twins, so you need to date.
So you need to
that's very Cruel Intentions of us to think. Now, Jason, since you were older than us, you were a college freshman. So like, I assume this movie was huge with like your friends at school. Like, were people really talking about it? Yeah. What was that like?
This was
a lot of excitement.
Talk on campus.
Yeah.
Was Cruel Intentions.
Yes.
Yeah. I remember showing the movie we had a Buffy the Vampire Club.
Love it. Amazing.
Our school paid for us to watch Buffy and order pizza and candy and soda.
Oh my God. So yeah, you would like watch it live on TV and have
wow.
And then one day I brought in the Cruel Intentions.
Oh my God.
You knew the crowd. You knew that crowd was gonna be. Yes.
I found my people right away.
Amazing. That's so special. I love that. Wow.
Yeah, but
they must have been they must have loved you. They're like, thank you for opening our eyes.
You brought us the Holy Grail. Yeah.
It was like, no, it was just fun to like, 1999 was, that was like a good year to be in college.
Oh, yeah. Meanwhile, what were we, kid? I think we were 6th grade.
Yeah. We were.
Maybe 7th.
No, 7th.
So we were young. Yeah. I forget when exactly I saw. So Jason, you went to the theater. Well, no, we know you got that VHS. Well, allegedly.
Allegedly.
I didn't see this until I guess maybe when it was on like HBO or like on demand, like pay-per-view. Because I was, of course, I saw the commercials. I remember the trailer so well. I remember thinking like, oh, is it maybe kind of scary? Because I still to this day am a little freaked out when Annette is coming up the escalator at Penn Station and Sebastian's just there. And I'm like, is this Mark Wahlberg in Fear? Like, this is feeling like Fear too, you know? And he's just there and she's looking, I'm like, oh, this is a little stalkery. But she doesn't care. It's fine. He found her. So I remember like as a kid, I'm like, oh, it looks almost like a little thriller-esque as well, which I was totally down with. Obviously, it's not. I mean, you know, it's thrilling. But yeah, Kit, when do you think you first saw this? Do you remember? Did you rent it?
I'm
or
having a hard time remembering, which is
I have a distinct memory of you and me watching it in your house, in your guest room upstairs, and your dad being worried and making sure the door was left open because we're watching a sexual movie. A boy was over, and I'm like,
a boy was over watching a sexual movie. He probably also knew. He was like, "Listen, I don't know where Mark's heart lies, but I know my daughter's super into." I had such a crush on you in 8th grade.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God, Jason, it was so bad.
We were totally Joey and Dawson.
We were
totally.
Oh, you're the Joey?
Yes.
She's Joey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because Mark is
far.
Prince.
Oh yeah, she's far less like moody and like, you know, Joey's kind of a handful.
No, but the relationship, yeah.
But yeah, that and our look. I mean, we would walk down the hallways and people were like, "Oh, it's Dawson and Joey," right? Yeah.
Was Grown Tensions the first like adult sexual thriller that you two have watched together? Or had you watched like
Wild Things? I think we had seen before.
Probably. I was upset. I mean,
we watched it. We went swimming and then we watched Wild Things at your place.
Oh, you did Wild Things.
Even around the time that we
maybe that was
our spoof, somewhat spoof Girl Intentions movie. Not actually, but we used
that
and Halloween H2O. I think we watched the same day,
all around the same time. Oh my God, love H2O. Yes, of course. And Kit and I saw Halloween Resurrection, the Tyra Banks, Busta Rhymes one. We saw that in theaters, I'm pretty sure. Yes, we did. We snuck in. But
we did all the time.
You know, and like every now and then, like, you know, different friends online say to me, and it's so true that like, man, like sexual movies of any genre, but especially like thrillers or like, you know, even like this where it's more than just a drama, but you know, sexual, you know, bold movies, man, they don't make them like they used to in the 90s. You know, the 90s we had good sexual politics in movies and sexual thrillers and all this good stuff, right? And I feel like
porn ruined it. Porn like let the air out of the sails. Like it was like if you weren't the kind of person who was like gonna go out and like purchase hard copies of porn, then you probably this was one of the things that you would see would be like a sexy movie, you know. And now that there's just straight up porn anywhere, anytime, everything, everywhere, all at once, it's become more like I feel like we're like, and I've heard someone say the other day, it was some tweet where someone was like, sex scenes are distracting in movies, and someone else tweeted like, I will not have you besmirch the career of Michael Douglas like that. Like, how dare you act like sex scenes aren't plot. Yes.
You know, I sort of agree with that though, just because I don't know, sometimes I feel like sex scenes now are so pornographic, like not in what we see, but like just the force. Like I just feel like so many sex scenes are like violent.
To you into being like, and
like sometimes where it's like a smash cut to like, and it's like, whoa.
You know, like Euphoria.
Like Euphoria, like I haven't continued it, but
like True Detective had a bit of massive thrusting. I was like, I don't know.
And like Fellow Travelers, I haven't finished it, but just in that first episode, I'm like, whoa, like, you know. So sometimes I just wonder, like, is it like the Ryan Murphy effect of like, is it just like to shock us and like make sure we're awake? Because even in this movie where we could have had sexual scenes like that, the sex scenes we get, first of all, there are very actually few, and the few we get are actually pretty tender and slow, and like, you know, there's some rocking, but it's not like. You know,
it's like how you would have, especially as like 16-year-olds, especially, it's how it shows a loving, still hot, but loving rendition of what
I feel like in 1999, they either had to go keep the dialogue intact, or they could have had the nudity.
Yeah, that's
they
very
could not have both.
I'm glad you bring that up because speaking of like, because the dialogue goes there. I mean, we have Buffy saying fuck like in every scene. And it's not like, oh, fuck that. It's like, I want to fuck, or I still, the little prude in me still does a little church giggle when she says, I'm going to fuck your brains out. I'm like,
yes,
like, whoa, but that's what's so funny about watching movies of our youth is like, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but like my brain, it's almost as if like I am back in like middle school again, seeing this and like being like, it's just funny how like your first view of something is kind of like, you're always going to kind of remember those like nostalgia goggles,
Yes.
But
Totally.
Jason, you bring up a good point where it's like, do you have the dialogue or show the sex? Did you notice? Well, Jason, you haven't seen it in a while, but Kit, did you notice the first time? So she snorts out of her cross necklace twice in the movie. In the beginning when we first meet her, and at the end when we're about to say goodbye, right? The first time we meet her, it cuts away. It's a close-up, and it shows her, and she puts it up to her nose, and then it cuts away awkwardly to Ryan Phillippe just kind of looking at her, and then it cuts back to her, and she's like, it's like, I just could hear in my mind, I'm like, oh my God, execs were like, wait, no, Buffy can't actually be doing this, like, I'm sure that was the whole discussion. And they're like, wait, okay, at the end you can do it, but in the beginning, just imply it, just do the sound effect of the snort. You know what I mean?
Because she's not the villain in the beginning.
Exactly. Yeah. In the end, it's fine because we know she's going to get punished. So, yeah.
That's so interesting. Yep. That's really interesting. I still have never seen the movie Kids. I know I'm like the only one that hasn't seen that, but I feel like, is this like the rich kids like version of that movie?
No.
Kids in the contentions are not.
Okay.
No.
They're not in conversation with one another.
They're not in conversation with each other.
Okay. All right. Totally different block, different neighborhood. Okay.
Different neighborhood.
Yeah.
Different
Brooklyn
neighborhood, right?
and Upper East Side.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those
Worlds
Brooklyn
away.
kids.
Worlds
They're like.
She's really getting you, isn't she?
I'm completely infatuated with her.
I'm really glad that they went with the ending that they went with instead of the alternate ending. I'm sure you two have seen.
I
don't know if
I don't remember anymore.
It's on YouTube.
Tell us. Is it?
Yeah.
What is it? Can you describe?
Like he gets into the fight, then he sees Annette Reese across the street, and he's like gonna run, and it's like the hero run, and like they run into, and he's about to like reach her, and then he gets hit by the car. So
I see. So
very
she's
much like heroic.
I see. I love when she's thrown into the street. So none of that happens. I love that.
There was a hot second where I couldn't remember who died in the end when I was watching this again. I was like, okay, was it Reese?
Right.
And I was like, no, I remember it because she had the car. So I was like, okay, no, it's going to be him.
Right.
It's the other blondie.
Because that's the original ending that I saw on the videotape. So then when I saw it in the movie theater, I was like, oh, this is a different ending. We're getting a different ending. Are they going to kill Annette instead?
Wow. So
I mean,
Jason,
it's so stupid of him to get right. It's just like now it's not about fighting and about like, but it's about like you just literally didn't look when you crossed.
Yeah, exactly.
And you live in Manhattan.
You're a New York kid. Like
run.
It's very similar to City of Angels. She shuts her eyes and rides a bike. And just
to Alanis Morissette.
Take me home.
Hey, Rewinders. It's not just us Upper East Siders who like Cruel Intentions. Here are messages about this movie we love from my friends Aaron Jones, Sabrina Colson, and my husband Greg Clements.
So I just finished watching Cruel Intentions. I don't think I've ever actually watched it all the way through. But what I do remember is you, Mark, talking about it all the time. Just from this rewatch alone, this movie about horny high school supervillains is wild. Ryan Phillippe is like doing his most evil supervillain voice. It changes. Like sometimes I guess he's talking like himself, but then sometimes he's talking like, "Oh, dear sister, like what are our evil plans?" Tara Reid is in this movie. Fucking phenomenal. But Sarah Michelle Gellar is like incredible. She's the most evil high school chick on the planet. In all of New York, Upper side. I don't know, the boroughs or whatever they're called. She's my favorite part. They're all baby faced, but they're acting like adults. And where are their parents? What a throwaway line to say like they're doing something else. Okay, I'm rambling, but no, this movie is actually fantastic. Horny high school supervillains. There needs to be more movies like this. They don't make them like they used to. This has just confirmed that it is actually the best movie.
Hey, I'm Sabrina. I am from Brewer, Maine. I grew up during the best times in movies. When Cruel Intentions came out, it was 99. I was 14, which is like the perfect age to become undoubtedly obsessed with that film. You know, you just watched that and you just wanted to be them. And you watched it on repeat until you actually believed it. And watching it again the years that followed, realizing like how little naive version Sabrina, you know, missed a few of those things and went right over her head, but wouldn't admit it to her friends. But just that movie's so good. Like, you know, sexual, dark, twisted, and just left you like just on the seat of your pants wanting more, but not like Cruel Intentions 2 more, but like, you know, just put it back in the DVD player, hit play again more. And the soundtrack too is just a whole vibe, a whole feeling. You just get like transported back, you know, and it's like you can just feel yourself like, what is it? Colorblind comes on and Reese is coming up over the escalator and there's Ryan and he's just in love. And it's just a whole feeling. Man, just talking about it merits a rewatch.
Let's just say Greg likes to tackle the tight ends on and off the field. Gregory!
We're destroying an innocent girl. You do realize that.
You're just a toy, Sebastian.
Get it together.
Let me know when you do. I thought we were just gonna be friends. Is she for real?
Stop it.
And I know we mentioned earlier that deleted scene where Sebastian sort of starts to like let the guys, you know, come a little closer, you know, which I love about that
Catherine's
scene.
definitely at least bi-curious, if not
She's
straight up
bi-curious.
bi. Yeah.
And I feel like Sebastian, even with that scene cut, I still get like Sebastian's sort of like he's straight, but he's kind of into all kinds of sex as long as it's sex. As long as
they're like libertines, yeah.
Yes.
And it's not necessarily healthy. Not that it can't be, but I think coming from them, it's coming from a lack inside of themselves. But yeah, I think they are both. I think they're both pan. They're. I don't even know if they're attracted to people so much as they're attracted to the power.
Well, speaking of pan, Greg and I. Well, Greg's mostly watching it. I can only stomach a little bit, but it's so trashy on Peacock. Couple to thruple. Oh my gosh, people are switching it up, and boys and girls, and it's pretty amazing actually. Like wow, like because that would not have. It certainly wouldn't have aired 25 years ago. But it's amazing. Like a straight guy's talking to this queer man who's in a straight relationship but is very queer and wearing a tight Speedo. It's just amazing. It's like, wow, all these people would never have been on TV even like 10 or 15 years ago. So
It reminds me so much like if you've ever seen the show The Boys, if you ever watched.
Oh yeah, I need to watch more of it. I've only watched a couple episodes.
So good, especially when you start getting into it. Like after the first couple episodes, it's really incredible. And there is one part where Maeve, one of the characters who's like a superhero, she's bi and she is outed ultimately. She'd been trying not to keep her sexuality hidden, but kind of because of the thing, but also she'd been kind of trying to protect her ex-girlfriend from like the crazy other superheroes. And when she gets outed, the PR team is like, this is amazing. You're gay. And she's like, I'm bi. And they're like, ooh, middle America doesn't understand that. So we're gonna, so like the idea, I totally agree. I feel like it's very much like you would never have seen anyone being like, well, yes, sometimes. It's like, no, I understand if you're gay, but what's all this then? You know?
Right. Yeah. Like, and speaking of queer, let's just all talk about that kiss. It won the MTV Movie Award for Best Kiss. We got that little string of saliva. I mean, what? Jason, do you remember first seeing that? Like, what did you think? Were you just like floored?
No. I mean, I was like, I love the fact that it was in it.
Yeah.
I'd already seen tons of gay porn before. before.
Yeah.
So,
But this was happening in a movie.
I know. In Central Park. Oh my God. I wish.
I was
wish.
like, yes,
Oh,
bring it.
I wish I could have just
like, I love
spied on that scene,
I
right?
know.
With all the crowds and paparazzi.
I
Apparently, there's a
loved
lot of
how like
paparazzi.
not caring about it Catherine was too. She was like, if anyone, like in her mind, it was like, well, no one's going to ask me or say anything.
Yeah.
And if they do, I'm going to be like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. Yeah.
I like the fact that it was normalized. The conversation was like normalizing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like I'm having lunch with my friend and we just kissed. What?
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
yeah.
It's just so special. And I just love how it really is. Like,
I also thought it was kind of bold and awesome. It was the first time I'd ever seen a woman gone down on in a movie at the time. And I was like,
when he wants to kiss you down there.
I know, which I love and I think about all the time because I also always think when I'm like bummed and I have to do something, I'm always like, promise is a promise.
Yes.
Promise is a
But that line, a promise is a promise, is a little like creepy.
He's a rapist. Let's
he
be real.
definitely she might be
Catherine
enjoying it.
gaslights her. The next day she like is hiding under her like hoodie and she's like something bad happened and and when she says he forced himself on me or when she was like
he took advantage of me.
and she was like he forced himself on you and she's like, no, he
no.
made you. I love that too. He made you give him a blowjob. I think in that phrase. And then when she tells her and she's like, well, it sounds like you liked it. Yeah, but a good one.
And I don't know, it was weird. It just felt like an explosion. But a good one.
Yeah.
But like, it doesn't matter if you liked it. It doesn't matter if it was consensual by the end, as the D.B. Weiss and Dave Benioff like to say about Game of Thrones. No, there's no such thing as that because like consent happens the beginning and the entire time. So like it's of course it's not the accused, but it's also the things that happen to her are very he coerces all the women that he sleeps with.
Yeah.
And so it's like it's assault. It's under the umbrella of assault, like pretty much all the sex that he has.
And I feel like it wouldn't have been, that line is what makes that specific line, a promise is a promise, that hasn't aged well. I feel like if he didn't say that, we know it's like, oh, he is really like both of them are totally having their way with her, but it's not as creepy. But when I heard that, I was like, oh my, Cecile.
And that he was like, fine, I'll just call your mom.
Yeah.
Like, bitch. And I did see that scene in the John Malkovich one with Uma Thurman. And it's even more clear. He she wakes up and he covers her mouth and like holds her down. And he's like, do you want to scream? Because I'll just tell your mom you invited me. And who is she going to believe? And I'm like, that is... they don't do it as much, but that is basically what he does. He's like, come over, and then he's like, oh, fine. You don't want to hang out. You don't want to sleep with me. You don't want to. I'll just call your mom. It's fine.
And that's when she gives us the infamous secret society.
Secret society.
Amazing.
Secret society.
Oh God. Yo, Kit, what about you? Any
society? And she goes, what did she say? Like, sure. Like it's something I guess. She's like,
So it's like a secret society.
That's one way of looking at it.
Fucking idiot. Cool. Secret society.
And then that really turns Cecile into a sex freak because then she's like eating the cherries in bed and then she so badly wants to she wants him more and he's now he's had her and he's like moving on, you know what I mean? So she's like, I just have she says to him, well, I don't love you either. And she breathes into his glasses. But she's like, he says, I'm gonna take a shower. She's like, do you want any company? No. You want a blowjob? No. And now she's a different girl.
And then she goes, prude.
Yes. Yeah,
she's had her sexual awakening.
She really has, absolutely.
Yes. And now, it's fucked up. Oh, now you got what you wanted, and now you're not gonna bone her anymore. Like, this is so not fair.
And then Ronald is being used between Catherine and then ping ponging between her and back to Cecile. I mean, Yeah, poor Ronald, he is totally manipulated. Cecile is as well.
Deal with what he dealt with Christine Baranski, being like, I took you off the street. And he was like, I live at 59th and Park.
Oh, don't give me that racist crap. What did she say? My husband and I gave money to Colin Powell.
Yes, and he goes, well, I guess that puts me in my place.
Yeah. Oh, God. So good.
And I love when and I thought of this one all the time too, because Cecile I had just a couple of years before gotten back from Australia, my little people to people student ambassador thing.
Wow.
And she's wearing the koala shirt. And that scene, and I always love when he comes in. Hello, Cecile. How are things down under? Blossoming, I hope.
Yeah.
Blossoming, I hope. And I think earlier
line.
in that scene, he like fondles the breast of like a statue.
Oh, maybe. I love when he fondles the tennis racket after he hooks up with Cecile. Oh, that is when he's like jerking it off and then does his tongue.
She just spits out and walks away.
And then Annette goes, she is odd or something like that.
Yeah.
She's a little weird.
Are you in or are you out?
I can't remember if I saw the movie. I think I did, but I might have only seen it once. But this was right around this time. I was in an acting class at Mike Lemon Casting in Philly. And again, I was only like 6th, 7th, 8th grade. Like I was still pretty young. And there were a lot of like high schoolers in there. So I was a little intimidated, but I will never forget. I felt so fucking cool. I'm in there. I got the Breakfast Club monologue that Emilio Estevez says about like doing something bad to someone in like the locker room.
He tapes his butt shut.
Yes, I tapes his buns. And I remember I was like, should I say buns? That's like kind of corny. But this girl got the monologue of Catherine saying, I'm Marcia fucking. And she did it in a different version, like in a much quieter, moody, sad version. And I must have seen the movie because I was like comparing in my mind. I'm like, oh, okay, she's doing something different. And I'm sure our teacher probably said like, ignore what you've seen or know about, like just do it your own, right? And I just remember being like, wow, like a different version of this. And just thinking like, oh my God, this is so cool. I'm with my people. Meanwhile, I don't know who any of them are. We didn't, stay in touch. But like, yeah, I just remember like, being so in it and seeing someone say a monologue from Cruel Intentions. That's my little fun fact.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. That was every time you type in like female monologue too. That's always one of the first one that comes up. Like from movies, it's this one. And weirdly, a lot of people always did Janice Ian's monologue from Mean Girls.
Oh, okay, yep.
I have a big lesbian crush on you. Suck on that.
Yes.
Which no one can do better than Lizzie Kaplan.
I know, so good.
Genius, yes.
Again, Kit and I were young. Jason, maybe you had already heard of this word, but this I think was the first time I had ever heard of the term fudge packer. I don't think I knew. Yeah.
I almost wrote that down. That he was like, finds out his son's a fudge packer. I was like, that sounds delicious. What would be the issue with
Oh my God.
I don't understand. And then I was like, butt stuff. Oh. And then also like, still a dim part of my brain being like, well, that also sounds delicious. What the fuck is wrong with that?
You're like, okay. Yeah.
Like, okay.
It's actually such a silly,
gross.
like insult or whatever. It's really so silly and stupid, but yeah, I'm pretty sure I really didn't know about that term until this movie. So thanks, Cruel Intentions, right?
In the game of seduction, there is only one rule.
Why can't we be together?
Because I don't trust myself with you.
Never fall in love.
This episode is now longer than the movie, so that really says
when I saw, oh my God, because I'm fixing to maybe watch Napoleon tonight if I can stomach a 3-hour thing. When I saw it was 97 minutes, I was like, when did we stop? When did we stop making sure that a story had a beginning, middle, end, an inciting incident, took you little places, wrapped up nicely, hour 30 minutes. That's all it needs to say.
Know.
Not everything needs to be a series. Not everything needs to be a 3-hour. Some things do. Like the Killers of the Flower Moon. I'm like, I don't know where you'd shave any time, and I didn't feel like the editing was great.
I haven't finished it yet. I want to, but I just God,
there are others.
So long.
Look, love Scorsese, but like The Irishman, you feel it. You feel it. That one didn't need to be that long. Yeah, like it's very rare is the need for
many long movies now. And yeah, you bring up a good point because this movie starts. And when it starts, like we're on the ride and there's very little, there's like no lulls. So it's tight, baby. I know. I miss when like an act was only half an hour.
We used to have to do that too. Like no matter what, if you wanted, we used to have mid-range movies and you used to have to make them good enough to get picked up. Like you could have an original idea that could get picked up, but it had to be tight. And now it's kind of like, well, if you have the rights to the IP and we've already had you work, then it doesn't have to be that tight. We'll allow this, blah, blah, blah.
Wait,
well, my last
time for Cruel Intentions again?
97 minutes with credits.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it starts, baby. It's the therapist, and then we meet Catherine, and all of a sudden it's Cecil and Annette. I mean, like we move. It's great. It's great. And to the point where I almost at times was like, where are their parents? Like, should we meet other people? Like, are there other students around? Because
would we?
But no.
Like,
and the cast
where
is small.
are their parents? The parents wouldn't be around. They'd be like, "What? You guys have money? Why are you bothering me?"
It's summer. I think it's summer. Even though they're like,
true. It's supposed to
Sebastian's wearing like very
matrixy,
looked like a freaking vampire. Like, and Reese Witherspoon was all in white in that last scene, and he was like, "Vampires of New York."
I know, so virginal. Even though. Not anymore. Now, my last question. This was a very hot cast. We know, still hot to this day. I'm going to go to each of you. It doesn't matter, man, woman, or you could do hottest guy, hottest girl. But who is the hottest person for each of you in this movie? In this movie, not in all their movies, but specifically in this character, the way they looked, who brings the heat the most?
Christine Baranski ruled this. She was... And she is the MVP of this film.
Yes.
Like in her Upper East Side clothing, looking like the hot bitch she is.
She was meant for it. Brilliant casting. I can't imagine this movie without any of them, but we forget how pivotal Christine Baranski was, for sure. Yes. Do you have a favorite guy, Jason, or are you going to leave it at there? Is Christine your MVP of the whole movie?
Now, yes. Back then, it was Ryan Phillippe.
It was Ryan.
I mean, that butt. Like that butt.
My God.
Yeah.
Like,
the hair. Oh, my God.
The hair.
What about you, Kit? Who is the hottest person or the forehead bump?
Mine is a two-hander. The hottest person in this movie is the sexual chemistry between the step siblings of Sarah Michelle Gellar and Ryan Phillippe. It's the taboo. That's the hottest person. Is the taboo, the dangerous liaison.
The dangerous.
Yes, the scene where she like is jerking. This is another one that entered all of my masturbation.
Yes. We didn't even talk about that. Yes,
the scene where she's jerking him off on the chaise lounge, like casually, and he's like touching her boobies, and then at the very end, she's like, "So until then, down boy."
Down boy.
Oh, come on.
Yes. And I was like, as a kid, I was like, what? She's amazing. Yes, leave him. But
and I actually think, I think that's hot the way it is. I think it's hotter to do it that way than like, pretend to like unzip his pants and pull it out. It's hotter to kind of like do it through the clothes.
Over because you don't know, but it's like just on the edge. Everything they did was so hot to each other.
I mean, Ryan Phillippe is so obvious, but sometimes obvious choice is the best choice. Although Joshua Jackson, I don't know, something about the blonde and laying there doing his nails. I'm like,
Blaine.
Ooh, Blaine?
Yes, the nails too, especially.
The nails.
Oh my God.
And he's in his underwear and he's just laying there like so casually.
So cool and hot.
Yes, there is something very hot there. And then, I mean, Reese is absolutely stunning, but again, it might be obvious, but Sarah Michelle Gellar is just such fire in this movie. She is hot as hell. She is so snatched. That amazing like orange yes,
up over top.
Yes.
God. The way her boobs go with that dress,
the cleavage that she is serving, beautiful. I mean, I love this movie so much. So I'm glad you guys were able to do this. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And
for having us.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely think we'll still be talking about this film 25 years later.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so too.
Like, this film went zeitgeist right away.
Quite the predicament you're in.
Cruel Intentions.
My advice is to sleep with as many people as possible.
And that's what happens when your stepsister allows you to put it anywhere if you win a bet.
You can put it anywhere.
Also, listeners, I found that Cruel Intentions TV pilot thanks to a well-informed TikToker, and you know what? I enjoyed it. It's a fun sequel with Catherine and Annette, and Annette's son with Sebastian. His name's Bash. Very cute, very young Ryan Phillippe. It's corny. It is NBC from almost 10 years ago, so keep that in mind. So I feel like there are good ideas there, just it wasn't the right fit for network TV, like we said, and I think just the execution was a little off. Some things don't land, but I was into it. I would have kept watching, honestly. So thanks everyone for listening to or watching this episode. And hey, if you want more, head to my YouTube channel to see part 2 of this conversation with bonus thoughts and more observations that I just couldn't fit here. Big thank you to my wicked friends, Kit Sheehan and Jason Kashiwagi, for being such great guests again. Thank you, thank you. And thanks also to our cameos, Aaron, Sabrina, and Greg, who rounded out our little secret society. Secret society. Like and subscribe, rate and review. And unlike Catherine, we do want to spread the word about what happened here on this show. So tell your friends and share this episode. Thanks also to Straw Hat Media and Kyle Motzinger and Portland Media Center. Follow me on Instagram at Release Date Rewind to see more content from this chat from the great movie Cruel Intentions and to find out what movie we're talking about next time on Release Date Rewind. Peace out.
Peace out, moron.